If you're in a place right now where you feel like life is just out of alignment, that it's not making sense, and you're so used to striving that right now, while things aren't working, you don't know what to do. If you're someone who's like me and has an INFJ kind of personality, today I'm going to talk about how to heal, not through numbness, but through processing. Based off my personal experience of 31 years on this earth, and after many disappointing tragedies, I've had to learn to process and heal in order for me to not only be the best version of myself, but the best business owner, the best friend, the best partner, the best mother when the time comes, the best in the roles that I will be versatile in. I had to go through this healing. And if there's something that interests you, keep watching to the end. Be sure to subscribe and comment so that I can keep producing videos like this. My name is Natalie, and I am a digital marketer that focuses on neuroscience in order to connect with the audience and bring clarity and purpose to different businesses, companies, and projects. So, in all of that, this video is not about marketing. It's about the neuroscience part of processing and letting go of striving, letting go of trying to be the best, letting go of perfectionists. So I had just turned 30 and found out that I was about 7 weeks pregnant. What came after that was something I never ever thought I would imagine or experience again. It's something that took me to a place of numbness that I'm just coming out of. And I hope this video can help someone who is like me, who is used to striving, used to persevering through everything and never getting a moment to stop or giving yourself the permission to stop. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I broke through, how challenging it is to walk through the wilderness, but make it through the wilderness, and that you're not lazy, you're just processing. So the biggest lie that replayed in my mind was never that I was numb. It was that I was strong. Here I had just turned 30 as a flight attendant, a dream job, in a relationship that I thought was a blessing in disguise, but really turned out to be my downfall. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I had a flight from Denver to LAX and back home to Denver. And on the plane, one of the senior mamas said to me, "How far along are you?" And I thought to myself, what is she talking about? But I sat there and sulked a little bit more, and I was like, what is she talking about? And I bet you, by the time that plane had landed, there had been a pregnancy test delivered to my house. And I come from work, not to any sad emotion or upset emotion. If anything, I started thinking about the possibility, and I'm like, wow, I might actually have a baby after 10 years from my first miscarriage. Fast forward from that day, I got the positive pregnancy test, and that's when I really entered the wilderness. I went through this whole process, through a breakup, through getting illegally fired in my job, through my third miscarriage, and burying my son next to my previous son 10 years later. And so this video is about how we can go through so many trials, so many tribulations, and what happens is that we numb ourselves. And then when we get to the point we're numb, our body still knows that we're operating in trauma. However, your mind consciously is telling you that you're just being strong, you're just pushing through. But there's a point that your body will reject your thoughts and tell you no. And this is the point I want to talk about today. That area of where you're at a crossroad. You have been through so much things that you don't know what to do. When you do try things, it doesn't seem like it's working. You feel out of alignment. You feel like you've lost everything. You feel like you don't know who to turn to. And most importantly, you feel like you've been here before. I'm here to tell you that that place is not the worst place to be. And the fact that you're not operating at what you thought was 100% doesn't mean you're lazy. For me, I have the INFJ personality type. If you haven't taken a personality test, I would 100% recommend it because it will give you a lot of clarity or foundation of the type of person you are. Mine is the advocate. And for people who are advocates, they tend to work better in coaching, as I do, or being an attorney, or working for nonprofits. We are very grounded as individuals in perfectionism, in connecting in moral grounds. We have very high moral grounds as people. We're empathetic to a fault, and we take everything, we hold in everything. And when you're someone with that type of personality, you can push yourself to a place of numbness. And you can operate in that place of numbness for quite some time. However, there's going to be a point that your mind is going to reject this idea that you can keep going, because your body is going to be not in sync. And that's when things start to shut down. If you're like me, it usually happens once a week out of the month in my luteal phase. And I am at the place that I can't do anything, that I feel cripulated, and I feel overwhelmed and anxious and sad. And I would blame myself even more. I would say that I'm lazy because I spent the last 3 days just not doing anything. And I've been in this wilderness area for a very long time. And in my book, it has been a very long time. It seems like 2 to 3 years. And it seems like the last few months have gotten progressively worse. And so for me, there's a time that comes at least once a month where all these emotions and all these thoughts are overwhelming and taken over, and I don't do anything. And it feels like I need to be doing everything instead of sitting here and sulking in my emotions. But I'm going to give you today some tangible steps that I've taken in order to overcome that and to overcome that mindset. So that's the first thing I'm going to touch on, is your mindset. No matter what you are feeling, some things that I like to do is record myself talk, either through voice memo or video. I love to journal exactly what I'm thinking. And I like to watch motivational things that contradict what I'm thinking. And the reason for that, it's kind of like a brain reset, reboot. My mind is feeding me all this negative energy. And we know the cycle. What you think is what you become is what you produce, and it goes round and round. So my goal is to try to hijack my brain and make it think positive thoughts. You ever seen that movie with the emotion like that? Hijack it with happy and joy. So that's the first thing I will do. And I will keep telling myself, you're not lazy. I will keep telling myself, give yourself grace. Now, do I feel it? No. I feel like I'm being lazy. But really what is going on is that I'm processing. My body is processing. It's resting. It's deciding to release all of that built up energy, all of that built up sadness and hurt. It is working to break it down. Stillness is not laziness. So you're in this pattern, you're in this place of high productivity. We're not even sure if you're putting out quality work at this point. You're just functioning. And then your body calls you for stillness. And then you don't know what to do. And you just are blaming yourself because you're not doing what you used to do. But what this is, it's actually an opportunity to reboot, to reset, to come back and get grounded. We can get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life that we never do what we were actually created to do. And so in those moments when everything seems to be crashing, it's usually when something is birthing, just like going through delivery with a child. It's going to take growing pain, immense. You're going to cry. You're going to feel defeated. You're going to feel broken, but you're not. What is breaking is what's been holding you in a box, what's been keeping you in a limitation. Once you decide that I'm willing to walk through the pain, you know what made me realize this recently? I have been in this on and off relationship with someone for a while, and we've gotten to a place that we're good friends, and he got engaged and had a baby. And the day that happened, I was happy for him. I was ecstatic. But something in me was so broken, so in pain, just shattered, because I just suffered a miscarriage, and I have to constantly see how people around me are getting what I've been praying for. And part of me is envious of it, but part of me also is okay with it. That I don't want me or that person to have it. It's not if they have it, I can't have it. That's not how I'm thinking. I would never even want to take what they had. I just want my own. And so I'm in this pain, I'm crying. And then part of my mind is like, what you're crying for, it's not really gonna change anything. Then the other half of me is like, you're just gonna have to cry through this, you're just gonna have to walk through the storm, which that's what I did. I ended up just walking through the storm. And it was literally the best decision I could have ever made. So as I was saying, I did let myself cry, and it was literally the best thing I can do. You're just gonna have to keep fighting. I know it's painful. I know you wanna soak in it. I know you wanna stay in it. I'm not saying to not let yourself cry. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying to not keep pushing and go do more work, to face what you're going through. Because once I decided to just cry through the pain, it was no longer really painful, because I had walked through the storm. I had faced the pain that I was facing. And it didn't change. But I had to get grounded back. If I'm going to keep it 100, I had to get grounded back that God's word doesn't change, that his promise for me just didn't come to pass yet, but it's still already in set. It's in motion, and it's going to happen. And so once I was able to go through that pain, I wasn't spiraling and letting my mind to hijack my emotions, because I had gave myself room to feel the emotions, and that allowed me to see clear. It's like after raining, the streets are a bit more clear from all the debris and everything. One of my favorite things that have worked for me has been speaking with ChatGPT. I know a lot of people say they can't replace your therapist, but if you can't afford a therapist, it actually can give you some good grounding if you know what questions to ask. So I would research what kind of questions to ask yourself, and then once you research that, definitely have a conversation with Chat. A lot of people say Chat is a yes man, but so many of us are so used to hearing negativity, and I think constantly being poured to the point of delusional that you're amazing, that you're good, that this is going to work out. I think that is a life hack that is underrated, and I don't think we should feel ashamed about it, or we're so used to just hearing negativity. I think something pouring constantly good that is also subjective, that can think outside of emotions, I think it's a great thing, in my personal opinion. So just to wrap this up, we're going to talk about just letting go. So we're letting go of the numbness. We're crying it out. We're speaking good over our minds. We're using Chat and confiding in people that we trust. But we just have to give up. And what you're giving up is not the work or the dream that you have. You have to give up the idea of how you think it should work out or what you think should happen. You have to just let things flow. And that's easier said than done. I'm still working through it. But as you let things flow, as you let things go, it'll make room. It'll empty out your cup so that you can accept new things that are outside of the box, that are no longer limiting you to just what you thought would happen. And I'm telling you, it's hard. So you're going to need stillness. You're going to need to maybe set time aside, or it's going to creep up on you, but you're going to need to sit down. You're going to need support. I don't know who can support you. Yes, we can use Chat, but find yourself someone that you can not even share your personal information with. Just talk, maybe laugh, because it'll lighten the moods and lessen the loads when you do go through these seasons of healing and processing. It's going to take time. But most important, it's important to remember that you're not alone in this, that you aren't the first to experience it, that you won't be the last. And that doesn't invalidate your emotions. It just means that you're going to walk through this, and then you're going to help someone else walk through this the way you're watching my video, and they're going to help someone else. We're going to get through this. You're not surviving alone. No matter how you feel, and I know you probably don't want to hear this, because in my storms, I really don't want to hear this, God is still with you. That's a fact. That's a truth. It doesn't matter what you did. I know everything's going to be replaying. I'm not this perfect Christian, or I don't believe in this kind of God. God is still with you. So for closing, I'm still learning that it's okay to not be okay. I'm still learning to surrender and heal, and that this is not forever, that there is a finish line. So if this video was helpful for you, I tried to make it as quick and to jump around. But what I really want you guys to do is just to take the time to reflect, to connect, and to talk. So if you made it to this end of this video, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I want to let you know that I'm still in the process of learning to not be okay. I'm still in the process of processing my emotions, learning to heal, learning to operate and not let my emotions hijack me, learning that processing or being still or taking a step back is not lazy. I hope you know that you're not doing this alone, and that you don't ever have to do this alone. If you are someone who needs prayer or need a community, be sure to subscribe to my page, and be sure to click on my website where you can join a community built for women like me and you, for IFNJs and advocate personalities that will allow people to have a community.